everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Monica. I like to speak about unethical businesses with a focus in multi-level marketing, and I am doing this in editing Monica mode because for whatever reason the intro in my original video just isn't uploading properly and it's just not rendering properly. I don't know what's going on, but in today's video I'm going to be presenting some posts by some reps that are a little what's the word I'm looking for? Unhinged. And then at the end of the video, I want to go over some trolling comments along with other comments that were left on some of my videos. Some of them are just regular comments I just wanted to read out loud. Other ones are just really funny and we can go ahead and laugh at it. Without further ado, let's get back to the video. Of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. Please do your own research. For any MLM reps that are going to watch this, I do ask that you watch this with an open mind because this is problematic behavior and I normally don't attack MLM reps personally or anything like that. And this is nothing to do with my personal feelings about some of the reps in this video, but I do think that their behavior needs to be called out and it is wrong. And I do think that for some of these reps, it was taken a step too far. I am going to do most of this video as a voiceover in case my daughter does fall asleep and I do have to put her in the crib. So that's just all that I had to say, I think. So without further ado, let's get into this video. If you guys don't know Mombie on any social media really, but she's mostly on Facebook and Instagram along with Twitter, she was featured in quite a number of articles because of the takedown of Boo, which is Black Oxygen Organics. At the time of filming this, about a week ago, we found out that one of the people who became her informant, his name was David, had actually passed away. And I did want to talk about this. I do want to say that if his family watches this or anything like that, I do send my condolences to the family and the friends and everything because this cannot be an easy time for them. But because Mombie had more of a friendship with David, I wanted to read what she had to say about him because I think what she wrote was beautiful. It is a little long, but I do ask that you guys just kind of listen because I do think it's important to say. I reached out to Dave a few weeks after starting Boo is Woo after coming across his YouTube videos on the company. He had been a top rep of the company who they canceled and he claimed owed him money. Being in multi-level marketing, he was very skeptical of me and the anti-MLM community. He initially believed, as many reps do, that we are haters with bad intentions. After some long, in-depth conversations, we developed a friendship and he became Boo is Woo's first informant. Despite what Boo and its top reps claimed and clearly continued to claim, Dave did not start Boo is Woo. He had zero control over the group and was only allowed in on agreement he did not promote MLM or pseudoscience. The group would have existed and proceeded despite Dave, but thankfully it didn't. He was an invaluable part of us anti-MLM activists, quickly learning about the company, the product, the owners, and corporate side, as well as the top reps and their downlines. He helped us get in contact with victims and other informants. It was through this collaboration between two sets of opposing sides, anti-MLM and MLM reps, pro-science and alternative medicine, that we accomplished something so great. If it wasn't for people like Dave and the other victims and informants, things wouldn't have turned out the way they did, at least not as quickly. Dave was certainly a character with a very unique personality. He could be a lot, but he had a great heart. He genuinely started seeing issues with multi-level marketing and became friends with many of the activists in the anti-MLM community involved with anti-Boo activism. He did so despite many in the anti-MLM and pro-science communities being pretty rude to him at times due to their unwillingness to respect differences for a common goal. Because of his anti-Boo activism, Dave was eventually sued by Boo. And though he couldn't continue speaking out himself, Dave continued to closely follow the Boo saga. I, for one, am so grateful he was able to see everyone's hard work pay off. He at least died with that satisfaction. He made a difference. The last conversation I had with him, he said that he hoped people became aware of the horrible actions of two top Boo reps. He hoped that Tranont, which is another MLM, would see their behavior and take appropriate action. He hoped that anti-MLM community, his friends, would continue to bring light to their bad behaviors. One of those people decided to use Dave's death today for her own manipulation, because that's the kind of person she continues to prove herself to be. She claims we are bullies for bringing light to her and Boo's behavior, and yet thinks it's appropriate to post what you'd see below. And in honor of Dave and his wishes, we will continue to show the bad behavior of MLMs and their top reps. Despite the attacks, despite the private messages from their minions, despite the mass reporting, despite the defamation, and despite the manipulation. He deserves that. Rest in peace, Dave. You will be sorely missed. The post that Mombie shared was from exposing the TOP or the TOPP. And this is the first time I've seen that Facebook page, thanks to Mombie. Because of privacy reasons and because I don't want this video to get some kind of claim or something like that from the rep because of her name being shown, I will not be showing her name, but you can easily go to Mombie's Facebook. I will leave a link to this particular post below if you would like to see who this person is, because like I said, I don't want to get a privacy claim on this video, but this was her very, very problematic post, and I'm going to go over some comments that were left on this post as well. And this is why I said that these reps are unhinged, because this is just, I can't believe that they would stoop this low. And like I've said so many times, that I don't like to attack the reps, and it's not a personal thing, and it's not that I hate the MLM reps or anything. I dislike the company and the unethical behavior, but this is beyond unethical. This is gross, this is disgusting, and this is disturbing. So this is what she had to say about Dave's death. Rest in peace, Dave Bukowski. Attacking and tearing others down will eat you alive and will negatively affect the people sustaining those attacks. I'm not sure how he passed, but in spite of everything, I feel sorry for the man because I understood why he did it. I was lucky enough to have someone wake me up when they mentioned how attacking a company that did me wrong was inevitably harming other people. It stopped me in my tracks. I wanted them to pay for doing me wrong. The pain of betrayal still remains, but thanks to that friend who had the courage to speak up and make me rethink my methods, I stopped trying to tear down that company or expose them because I did not want to harm anyone else or their business. He allowed darkness to consume him. I understand what it's like. I was blessed enough to have people supporting me through my struggles and pain, and people with wisdom to set me back on the right track when I fell to the wayside and was consumed with pain, anger, and bitterness. There's enough pain and suffering in life without other people adding to someone else's load they're carrying. Instead of making other people's lives more difficult, how about we start having compassion and understanding on why people do and say the things they do, and try to live in love, as hard as it may be when someone attacks you and you want to defend yourself. What you put out to others will come back to you because energy is infinite. Send out love. It's easier said than done when we're under attack, but I'm truly trying to not react when I feel attacked and instead give it to God. My shingles and thinking I was having a heart attack was an awakening experience. Tomorrow isn't promised. Have you even lived yet? Stop saying yes to people and things that rob you out of your soul and rob you out of your dreams. I haven't lived yet with the heavy loads I've carried all my life, but I'm starting to unload, and with the unloading of all of that was holding me back. I'm starting to live. I'm learning to choose me. I'm learning to let go. I'm learning how to just be without struggling to make it through every day without distracting myself to avoid the pain. I'm learning how to sit with it and process it so I can finally be free. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I'm done saying no to me. I'm done holding myself back to please someone else. I'm choosing to follow my dreams and make them a reality no matter what it costs me. As long as I don't lose me again, I'm living. And the graphic that she shared says, death isn't sad. There's nothing sad about it. Living a shitty life, that's sad. I normally like to keep this channel family friendly. And yes, I'm back on screen. My ring light turned off for whatever reason, but I'm back on screen anyway. But I wanted to come back on screen because this person deserves to see me saying this to them if they come across this video. I'm not going to say their name, but I will use their initials. CZ, you can kindly go fuck yourself and your beliefs about what happened to Dave, along with saying, I mean, this post just... I can't believe. I can't believe that this person actually wrote this. But there were other comments, and this one's cut off, but it says, reap and sow principle is a great or horrifying thing depending on how we live and treat people. Someone else said, let's celebrate one thing moving into another then. Energy begets energy. Be careful where we spend it. Who is he? Sorry for the question, but is he someone famous? And then the rep responded with, he's the one that started all the anti-boo groups and campaign. Then someone else decided to say, he didn't deserve such kind words. I'm honestly relieved to hear of him passing. That person can also fuck off. That's one post that was shared by someone who had certain opinions about Dave. But another one that Mombie shared was, I haven't talked much about this one, but her behavior should also be highlighted. LL believes she is a literal prophet, and of course you guys can read the rest of it. But this is what she had to say. I want to caution you, be very careful thinking you can do the most online and come for people who you don't even know based on assumptions and rumors. The main guy who came after me simply because he hated the company I was an affiliate of, I never spoke to him a day in my life, just died. I was defamed in groups, chats, pages, videos thanks to him. He personally messaged me on my socials harassing me. This is a year of reaping what one has sown. Whatever you have sown in the past, you will suddenly reap. I already forgave and hold nothing against anyone, but when you dedicate your entire existence to harass and slander people you know nothing about who are covered by the blood of the Lamb, you better think twice. The Lord is not playing games, friends. The world you have lived in, where justice is a slow process, is no longer the world we're walking into. God will avenge. Walk in discernment as you decide what you want to reap in 2022. Well, LL, you can also fuck right off. But the first rep that I spoke about that used Dave's death as a manipulation tactic and I don't even know what she was trying to get at with that post, if I'm being completely honest. But she has some public posts on her profile as well. It's a very long one. I'm not going to read the whole entire thing, but I'll leave it up on the screen. I just wanted to bring light to this post and just show you guys what some of these reps are saying. I do want to make a disclaimer about this. I am not a fan of Starbucks. I don't drink Starbucks. Let me rephrase that. I rarely drink Starbucks. I only drink it when there's literally nothing else to drink. I don't like the taste of it. I know a lot of people, please don't unsubscribe because of that. We can have a difference of opinion on coffee, but I'm just not a fan of Starbucks. I never was, and I probably never will be. Let's just get into it. If you're still giving your hard-earned money to Starbucks, lean in close. You want to listen to this. A California judge has ruled that businesses like Starbucks that sell coffee need to warn consumers that the drink poses a cancer risk because it contains the chemical acrylamide. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So her first point about the California judge ruling, this statement is true, but she conveniently left out quite a bit of pertinent information since fear-mongering seems to be what a lot of MLM reps like to do. While acrylamide is used to treat water and is found in cosmetics, it also occurs naturally in some foods. This is due to certain foods being heated up to a certain temperature, but the ruling that she's referring to is due to California's Proposition 65. However, as of January 21st, 2022, there have been some developments about this. But before we go over the developments, I do kind of want to go over what this ruling is truly about and just kind of give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So on September 17th, 2021, the California Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment proposed new alternative safe harbor warnings for acrylamide exposures in food. The stated goal is to reduce the potential for litigation concerning the sufficiency of warnings because the new optional safe harbor warnings are deemed clear and reasonable by the lead agency for purposes of Proposition 65. Proposition 65 requires companies to provide clear and reasonable warnings before knowingly and intentionally exposing California consumers to any chemicals listed as known to the state of California to cause cancer or reproductive toxicity. There are limited exceptions to the warning requirement, including where it can be shown that exposure levels are below certain safe harbor threshold levels determined by the state. Proposition 65 already provides generally worded food exposure warning safe harbor language that is deemed to be clear and reasonable. In the Cal Chamber case, the plaintiffs argue that the existing safe harbor warnings for exposure to acrylamide in foods, which state that acrylamide is known by the state to cause cancer, are overbroad, are false and misleading, and constitute a violation of First Amendment rights. Then this article states federal judge orders pause of California lawsuits over cancer warning labels. Citing contradicting scientific evidence concerning the danger of the chemical acrylamide found commonly in junk food, the judge ordered a pause of new lawsuits against food companies that claim the warning labels mislead consumers and violate the First Amendment. Business groups fighting California over required cancer warning labels on products containing a chemical commonly found in coffee and junk food notched a legal victory Tuesday as a judge temporarily barred enforcement of the state law. Citing shaky scientific proof regarding the danger of eating foods containing acrylamide, U.S. District Judge Kimberly Mueller granted the California Chamber of Commerce's motion for preliminary injunction. Mueller prevented the state or private parties from suing companies for not putting Proposition 65 warning labels solely on food and beverages containing the toxic chemical as the case continues in federal court. Quote, the state has not shown that the cancer warnings it requires are purely factual and uncontroversial, nor has it shown that Proposition 65 imposes no undue burden on those who would provide a more carefully worded warning, end quote. Mueller's findings fall in line with arguments coffee roasters and food producers have been making for decades when it comes to the common chemical's danger to humans. Acrylamide is used to treat drinking water and for making plastic and cosmetic products, but it also is sometimes found naturally in food. While not common in meat, fish, and dairy products, acrylamide is often found in baked or fried goods like French fries, potato chips, donuts, and some tobacco products. In addition, the chemical has been identified in healthier products such as coffee, almonds, and black olives. I will leave this article linked below in case any of you want to continue reading about it a little bit more, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background as to what this rep was referring to. Starbucks prioritizes a big hit of caffeine over the taste of the coffee. They use stale coffee beans that are burnt to a crisp and hide it all with a dazzling selection of drinks that are loaded with sugar, cream, and other sweet and high-calorie embellishments. It's difficult to find actual evidence on how fresh Starbucks coffee is because they don't give any information on it, a bad sign in itself. Her point about if it's hard to find how fresh Starbucks coffee is, then why is she saying it's stale and burnt to a crisp? Don't get me wrong, in my opinion, it does taste burnt and stale, but you can't accuse a company of this and then turn around to say you don't know how fresh it is because you can't find this information. Of course, you can have an opinion and say it tastes that way to you just like I did, but you can have that opinion. So if she wanted to say that that was her opinion, that's totally fine because everyone's taste buds are different and to each their own, but I will have to agree with her. I don't like the way that Starbucks coffee tastes. Also, not everyone is drinking all of the sweet drinks that she's referring to. Some people are drinking just regular coffee. You don't have to get the calorie-loaded sweet drinks at Starbucks. If you're concerned about the number of pesticides in your cup of joe, then avoiding Starbucks coffee would be a step in the right direction. This entire sentence is taken word for word from theoldcoffeepot.com. And they wrote, quote, while the coffee is not loaded with pesticides, Starbucks does not have control over the number of pesticides used in overseas coffee farms. If you're concerned about the number of pesticides in your cup of joe, then avoiding Starbucks coffee would be a step in the right direction. Again, no one has the data on how much pesticide is used, but hey, it is better to be safe than sorry, end quote. Last time I checked though, unless you're purchasing organic, your food is going to have pesticides on it as well, or did I miss something? I'm not saying it's right or healthy, but I'm just trying to see her point here. There was one article that I found as well that I do want to go over a few things in, but the same thing is written in that article that it says, well, coffee is not loaded with pesticides and the whole cup of joe going in the right direction. It's in that article. But there is something that I wanted to go over, and that is coffee high in pesticides? First, conventional coffee is among the most heavily chemically treated foods in the world. It is steeped in synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and insecticides, a real mouthful with a bad taste. Not only does the environment suffer from this overload, but so do the people who live in it. So now you can see where people are getting this whole Starbucks and pesticides thing. It's not just for Starbucks, it's in general. In 2018, local labor inspectors published reports tying Starbucks to a plantation where workers were forced to live and work in filthy conditions. Workers reported dead bats and mice in their food, no sanitation systems, and workdays that stretched from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then she says, I'm not even going to mention the literal fortune that this unhealthy habit adds up to. I do agree that Starbucks is way overpriced for what it is. The portion about the 2018 labor reports, again, this rep took this word for word from the fairworldproject.org. And in that article, they said, once again, Brazilian labor inspectors have found slave labor on plantations where Starbucks buys coffee. And not just any plantations, but ones that have been certified to Starbucks CAFE practices standards. This marks the second time in 9 months that this has happened, pointing to a huge systematic problem with the way Starbucks is meeting their commitment to 99% ethical coffee. It's time for that change. And here it says, how do we even know that this is happening? The Brazilian government has taken steps to address forced labor throughout their farming and manufacturing sectors. One of those steps is publishing an annual dirty list of those found in violation of Brazilian law and what they have defined as modern slavery: forced labor, debt bondage, dangerous and degrading conditions, and debilitating workdays. In the fall of 2018, local labor inspectors published reports tying Starbucks to a plantation where workers were forced to work, live, and work in filthy conditions. Workers reported dead bats and mice in their food, no sanitation systems, and workdays that stretched from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Workers reported that the payment system was rigged and the coffee they picked disappeared before it could be tallied. Deductions to cash their checks meant that workers had barely any take-home pay. While the plantation carried Starbucks CAFE practices certification, Starbucks denied buying from the farm in recent years. In the most recent case, labor inspectors found workers in similarly dire conditions on another plantation certified to Starbucks standards. Overall, the Brazilian Labor Ministry reports that workers toiling in slavery-like working conditions was at a 15-year high in 2018. And I will leave this linked in the description box as well because it goes over Starbucks' CAFE standards, policy, and it kind of goes over why Starbucks has been the way that they have been with all of this. So, of course, the rep was correct in saying that, but it's not that hard to cite your sources and not plagiarize or take the information and present it in a way that's your own. However, I'm sadly not surprised that these reports were published. I'll give the rep credit for bringing awareness to the situation. Unfortunately, though, a lot of big corporations have had or still continue to have slave labor. But at one point in her post, she said her MLM's drink has sustainably sourced cocoa beans. I'd like to see proof of that because after researching other non-MLM companies, a lot of cocoa beans are also tied to child and slave labor. The issue here is just like a lot of terrible companies out there, Starbucks isn't going anywhere. Starbucks has been hit with so many lawsuits, but it really hasn't stopped them. Some of them were a bit frivolous in my opinion, while some were pretty serious and severe. Plus, if she's concerned about some of the things that she spoke about in her post, she should never purchase anything from Nestle, for example. I've been researching for a future video, spoiler alert, on Nestle over the past several weeks and was actually so excited when I saw Bailey Sarian cover Nestle because I was in the middle of all of my research and I thought she did a great job. But anyway, for those who don't know, Nestle has been in quite a bit of controversies, so I hope that this rep has never used or doesn't continue to use Nestle products if she's so concerned about labor reports, amongst other things. Now, an MLM rep might try to argue that what I'm doing is similar, or that if I hate multi-level marketing so much, I should hate all of these other businesses. I do hate unethical businesses, especially if they are hurting their employees. But when the majority of people in your industry as a whole are barely making minimum wage, they might even be losing money while having this opportunity promoted as it being easy and anyone can do it. That's a major issue, an issue that consumers have control over. I choose to educate people about the multi-level marketing business model so that they don't fall victim to one of these scams. Also, let's not forget that Tranont, which is the MLM this rep is a part of, was sent a warning letter in April of 2020 for false health and income claims related to COVID. So if this rep wants to talk about anything unethical, her company was already part of some kind of unethical practices. Maybe she wasn't directly because she just joined the company. It's not like she's been a part of the company since 2020, but her company was slapped with that warning letter. Anyway, I don't know about you, but once I found out my daily coffee can do all this, I will never go back to drinking bad coffee again. In reality, there's a million reasons I won't drink their coffee. Of course, she goes over why her MLM's coffee is so much better, and I'm not going to waste my breath or any of your guys' time going over that. Now that I do have a little bit of extra time, I want to go over some comments that I've gotten because, like I said, I want to end this video on a lighthearted note because the beginning portion of this was kind of heavy, and I also just lost someone in my life. My last living grandparent, my grandmother, passed away, and we found out on New Year's Eve. So that was the way that I ended my 2021. And so I am still a little emotional, and when it comes to death and everything like that, I want to kind of laugh at some comments. And yeah, let's get into that before I get a little emotional. But this one was left on my Brittany Dawn video that I talked about, the She Lives Freed retreat. And AKA TGIF said, your embodiment of bad energy, 33 minutes of going after another. And then they put karma. So I responded with, well, aren't you a sweetheart yourself by adding that little karma part at the end of your comment? If bad energy is exposing scammers, then I guess I'm just filled with bad energy and I'll wear that as a badge of honor. Thanks for the engagement. They said, you give two shits about Brit Dawn Fitness. You're working the algorithm game. Tea and drama. Lowest common denominator in society. I'm no angel. I'll bet you have some skeletons in your closet that wouldn't be complimentary to your squeaky clean reputation. Yes, I'm trolling. I'm in the hospital. I got a monkey wrench stuck up my you-know-what while having freaky you-know-what. So, of course, yes, they're a troll. But I don't know why they said what they said because, I mean, Brittany Dawn is, in my opinion, a scammer. So if she's going to continue with this nonsense, I'm going to continue to call her out because I started calling her out back in, 2020? And Brittany Dawn Fitness is someone that I used to actually follow on social media. I used to really engage in her content. I used to love her content. But then all of this other stuff happened, and I am so glad because I almost bought one of her fitness programs. But it was actually thanks to Beachbody, another, in my opinion, scam, that I didn't buy it. So anyway, moving on to the next comment. This comment, it didn't show up, so I'm assuming that the person probably deleted it after they posted it. But it says, I guess you didn't realize that all businesses are MLM or pyramids. There is always a top and a bottom and an in-between. Any business that sells a product or service has some kind of rep that does, and then I can only see the preview of it because of what it was posted, but I can't see the rest of it. But no, we're not talking about the shape of an organization. A pyramid scheme is a pyramid scheme by the way that they run their business. It's not by the shape of it. Because if you look at every business, mostly every business is going to have somebody at the top and then it's going to trickle down. When I say triangle shaped structure, I'm joking. I'm being sarcastic because I know that it's not based on the shape of the organization. A pyramid scheme is a pyramid scheme because of recruiting, because of you're not making more money on the products, you're making more money on recruitment. That's what it is. I mean, there's more to it, of course, but that's just in a very quick 5-second thing. Then there was, I'm assuming that people, maybe my Brittany Dawn videos got some traction because of the She Lives Freed event, and I don't know if more people were talking about it. I did see that Not the Good Girl, she posted a video about it, and it was right after I finished editing and uploading it onto YouTube for my patrons and my channel members. So I wasn't able to actually say in there that she made a video about it too, but I did leave it I left it as a pinned comment. So I don't know if it's because there was more traction on Brittany Dawn or more eyes on Brittany Dawn, but my first video about her, there was someone who said on it, get to a stylist. What does that have to do with Brittany Dawn and her scams? Please explain that to me. But then 2 more Brittany Dawn comments. There was one on, again, an older video where I talked about when she was shilling Melaleuca. Someone said, wow, at this video, I have so many questions. Mostly, why are you so mad about MLMs anyway? Bunch of laughing until crying emojis. Geez. I mean, if you took a second to look at my channel and if you took a second to watch any of my other videos, I'm pretty sure I explain it very well. Oh, also, some of these comments I didn't respond to because I just didn't have the energy and I just didn't feel like it. So I left it for a rainy day to post about it in a video. Then this one, it's another Brittany Dawn one. What is terrible is that many Christian, I'm assuming they meant what's terrible, is that many Christian are acting different with her and all of you are bullying her and being cruel with her just because she wants to follow her dreams. Stop the hate, please. And she's a daughter of God. Stop treating her bad. You clearly did not watch any of the video and did not pay attention to the fact that she's been scamming. Clearly. Then there was a video that I posted back in 2020. It was a kind of like a true crime video, and it was about a psychiatric facility by the name of Greystone. The original Greystone, this is in New Jersey, the original Greystone was actually demolished, and it was it was taken down, but there is a new one. But I made the video about the old one because there have been haunted stories about it. It's part of Weird New Jersey. That's like an actual thing in New Jersey. And there was just a lot of problematic things that went on behind the doors of Greystone. I won't get into all of that because I think that is something you need to watch up. It's a very heavy video, and there's just so many trigger warnings that I would give for that. It's a very, very heavy video. Well, I don't know why that video has picked up a little bit recently, but I've gotten a few comments on it, and I'm going to sprinkle those in throughout this video because I don't have them screenshotted all in one order. But this person said, well, I knew that hellhole very well. I had the misfortune of spending time there. Why? Because I have a form of autism that is on the high side. What does that mean? Well, I did not understand simple things when I was young, like spelling the word house. I got bad grades, etc., and was put there for fear I was insane, beyond being able to be taught. I have over 137 scars on my head to prove this. I was a person who slept on a cot. I was lucky enough to catch scarlet fever, which almost killed me. Since being out and all the torture from them, I have chronic heart failure. I have had 4 open heart surgeries, which now I have a mechanical aortic valve and a mechanical mitral valve, oh my gosh, along with a pacemaker that I'm 100% reliant on. I'm on Medicaid, can't find doctors, just waiting for my time to expire. That is very sad, and I am so sorry that this person has gone through this, and I've already responded to that person, but that really broke my heart to read that. But on that same video, I had someone else who was trolling, and I did post this on Twitter. Just to preface this, because now you're gonna probably pay attention if you haven't seen it before. Down here, my teeth, I have a gap in between my teeth. I have had gaps in between my teeth my entire life. I've had braces to fix the problem. I've had surgery, like I had part of my gum removed and part of my upper lip cut in order to bring some of the gaps together, but some of them have come back. And this one, it is something I want to fix in the future, but it's not on my priority list of things to do. So I'm not missing a tooth. It's an actual gap in between my teeth. So now you guys are going to notice it if you didn't notice it before. But this person commented on the Greystone video that I just talked about, which I don't know why you would comment on this video and say this, because like, did you not watch the video and see how horrible, anyway, go buy a tooth that's missing on the bottom of your jaw, LOL. And I said, it's actually not missing. I have a gap. The gap is so big I can park a bus in there. Am I right? Thanks for the engagement on this video though. It's greatly appreciated. Well, this same person also commented on that video and said, this chick talking in this video sucks. I can't stand her over ethical POS crap. Another comment that he left was, what the F 4-letter R word are you talking about, you stupid C word? Just say it, moron. Okay. All right. Then there was, on another true crime video, I had someone comment. And what makes me sad is that this video was, the things that happened to the person, it was just, I have no words, and it's a really, really sad story. But out of the entire video, what this person decided to criticize me on, which I'm all for constructive criticism, I'm all for that. But this person said, your hair looks ridiculous. Excellent research upload, spoiled by your ridiculous looking hair. Very interesting upload, but spoiled by your hair. Tragic story ruined by your hair. Get it? Just be normal looking and naturally beautiful. Peace. So I said, okay, Karen, do you feel better now? You do realize the victim of this case also had, and I put in quotes, ridiculous looking hair at points in her life. Did you ever think that maybe people don't want to fit your mold of normal? But on top of that as well, why would you say that on a true crime video? That to me just makes absolutely no sense. Then there was this comment. It was on my Matilda Jane clothing video. A lot of your information is complete bullshit. Show me where MJ has clothing for sale on Amazon or eBay. That has never happened. You may see MJ listings on eBay, however, those listings are individual buyers that are reselling their own MJ clothing. The company has nothing to do with that. Also, I was contacted by a trunk keeper to join for $200, so that's also false. The quality is absolutely outstanding. If you had done real research, you would notice that first, which is a reason for the price. The return payback you mentioned is also untrue. I have returned probably 6 things in 12 years, and I was sent a brand new replacement free of charge. A couple of times they have sent me a new dress or shirt just as a courtesy, plus the return. If you are going to stir up crap, and maybe make sure your facts are correct and speak, don't read. Meaning like don't, because I do the voiceovers and stuff, but this was my response. If you had paid attention, this video is almost a year old, so some of the information may have changed. However, all of my sources are listed in the description box. I have a script and add B-roll so that I have all the correct information. No one forced you to watch this, but thanks for the view and comment. It only helps push this video into the algorithm even more. If you'd like to be a keyboard warrior and boost my videos even more, there is a part 2 and a part 3 about MJ. And of course, I decided to respond. I've been buying Matilda Jane for 12 years. It's never been sold on Amazon. When did I say I was forced to watch this? That's a little dramatic. I only watched half of the first one. Sorry to disappoint you. So I said, wow, you take things very literally. My bad. Another anti-MLM video where I talked about a story that someone had sent me about their experience with Closet Candy Boutique. I did leave that person anonymous and I gave them the name Vanessa. That was one of the last videos that I made before I gave birth. So a rep commented on it and said, I want to say one part where you talk about people get emails for too many returns. Yes, because some stylists were buying for commissions and to take photos in it and just sending it back. Not okay. Maybe talk to other people before jumping to conclusions and bashing a company. This is not a scam. I've been in one. Trust me. You don't have correct info on most of what you're trying to speak on. So I said, first of all, I did say this is all alleged because it's one person's testimonial, of course, along with the testimonials of the people in the Reddit thread. That was said more than once, and that I'm not presenting this as fact. Experiences of reps will vary, that's a given. I did add my opinion about refunds, along with my previous retail experience, and how there could have been an excessive amount. That would make the refund policy warranted. With that being said, if the only thing you're going to... Oh, yeah? Do you have an opinion about this too? With that being said, if the only thing you're going to take time to make a comment about is a portion about refunds and not talk about any of the more important topics, that tells me everything I need to know. Then there was this comment on my Alaska Triangle video that said, utter bullshit, I do not want to lick your pink pubes. I guess because I had pink hair. Well, no taboos. I didn't ask you to. Going back to the Greystone video, there was someone who commented and said, what an awesome video. Great research and perspective. I have to tell you that my brother was ordered to stay at the old Greystone. It would have been around 1979 to 1980. He was sent there because he was diagnosed schizophrenic and he had tried to set me on fire. Long story. My brother would have been around 14 when he was there. I was 8 or 9. I have memories of me and my mom visiting the complex for a family day. I was young, so I remember it seeming very overwhelming and sad. I can tell you that my brother ran away from there at least 2 times that I remember. He would have had to walk about 6 hours to get home. He would have blisters on his feet. I remember hiding him from my mom. Looking back as an adult, I realized that some of the behaviors that he was displaying on coming home makes me truly believe that he was repeatedly, trigger warning, SA'd there. I didn't know at the time because I was so young. It saddens me to think about that happening to him. Thanks for doing this. Then to end it on an anti-MLM note, if being is an MLM, I'm assuming they meant in an MLM, is not being a business owner, then why do so many do whatever they want? Probably better than what you know about, because there are rewards for impacting people's lives. Yeah, there are rewards for making people spend a shit ton of money that they don't have and going into debt, because the more you recruit, the more that you make money. I mean, that's just what most of my channel is about. The whole part about the MLM not being a business owner, or an MLM rep not being a business owner, I actually am a business owner. We own a business. I've spoken about that here on this channel before. So I think that I would know. And it also doesn't take rocket science, nor does it take you being a business owner to know that being an MLM rep is not being a business owner. It is not the same thing. And the whole, why do so many do whatever they want? Well, see, that's the problem, is they do whatever they want and they say whatever they want. And some of them are a danger to society and are unhinged and make income claims, make dangerous, very dangerous health claims. If you watch any videos about Black Oxygen Organics, whether it be, I know that there have been quite a number of creators that made videos, Kat Benson from Unlock Nutrition. Oh yeah? Kat Benson from Unlock Nutrition, Amanda MC, Savannah Marie. I made a video. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, and I'm so sorry if I am. But in my video, I didn't do a deep dive or anything like that, but I went over some posts and some just intense health claims that some of these reps were making. And it was just so out there. I mean, there was one person who tried to say that her finger grew back because of Black Oxygen Organics. Okay, let me not say her finger, the tip of her finger, so that I'm not over exaggerating. That's the problem, is they run around and they make whatever comments they want, whatever health claims they make, whatever income claims they make, and they spread misinformation, dangerous misinformation. There's a reason why Black Oxygen Organics was shut down. And now there's so much more information coming out about Black Oxygen Organics. So there's just a lot going on. But I have no words for that comment, really. And I didn't respond because I didn't feel the need to respond, because it's the same regurgitated comment over and over and over again from these reps. I can't do it anymore. But if you ever want to follow me on Twitter, I do tend to share some of the more problematic comments over there. And then if they're really out there, I'll also share them on my Instagram. All of my social medias will be linked below. And if you ever see any kind of income claims or health claims or anything like that you want to report to the FTC, the link for that is always linked below as well. The link to report to the FTC. That's always linked in the description box below. So thank you so much for watching this video. It was kind of all over the place, and not all of it was a voiceover like I expected it to be, because I just decided to talk a lot and go off on tangents. But if you've been here for a while, you know that I go off on tangents all the time, which is why I have scripts for most of my videos. So anyway, that is all that I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye!